Father Robert Spitzer, a Jesuit priest, authored a book entitled Finding True Happiness. In this book, Father Spitzer says there's actually 4 levels of happiness, each with their own description. Level 1, the happiness derived from material objects and the pleasure that they can provide. For instance, very simply, a person likes ice cream. Eats that ice cream, is a happy person. Level 2 is a happiness derived from a personal achievement and the gratification that brings. A person is a very talented tennis player, very achieved. People recognize that, compliment him, and he's gratified for that. Level 3 is a happiness derived from doing good for others to make the world a better place to live. Somebody volunteers to work at a soup kitchen. The hungry come there, they eat, they're satisfied. The volunteer is very grateful for that. And the 4th level of happiness is reaching out for the perfection, for the fulfillment of happiness itself, and such things as beauty and truth, and things like goodness. My brothers and my sisters in Christ, levels 1 and 2 of happiness happen because they just occur in the occurrence of our lives. We become aware of something that we like and we participate in it. We achieve something and people recognize that. I see that level 2 is a good happiness, but very limited, because the happiness doesn't go on forever. Other people become accomplished tennis players, and they start getting compliments. And suddenly we experience at that level, our happiness turns out to be envy and jealous. And so the natural consequence would be, well, let's move on to level 3. It's a problem. Level 1 and 2, those levels of happiness occur in just the living out of our lives. Level 3 doesn't happen in the course of our life. Level 3 happiness happens only when we make the choice to go to level 3. The problem is that many people don't realize that. And Father Spitzer tells us that about 70% of people in our society are locked into level 2 and they remain there, experience that limited kind of happiness in their lives. That we have to make a choice to go into level 3. And one of the ways of reaching out and opening ourselves to participate in that level of happiness is ask yourself the question, what can I do in my life now to make a positive difference in places like my home, my workplace, the place where I go to school, my parish, organizations I belong to? And when we ask that question, certain answers come to our mind. And when we respond to those answers, that's when we move out of level 2 happiness to level 3 happiness, when we do good for others, making our world a better place to live. My brothers and my sisters in Christ, every Monday we come to the shrine and we have 8 services of Miraculous Novena, some in the midst of celebrating the Eucharist, others for benediction. 8 times to come and pray in this beautiful house of Mary. And this is a beautiful house. The house that the Irish mystics would call a thin place. What they meant by a thin place is that a place very close to God. So we can experience God anywhere because God's a God of creation, God's a God of history. But in our experience, we sense the presence of God more so in some places rather than in other places because of a very thin separation between the presence of God and our experience of God. Mary's house here in Philadelphia is a thin place. When we walk into the shrine, don't we experience the presence of God? The presence of God that invites us just to quiet ourselves down, to raise our minds and hearts to God in prayer. This is Mary's house. A house where we can experience many blessings, peace, hope, healing, encouragement, enlightenment. This is Mary's house. A house where we can bring our needs and our concerns to God through the Mother of God. And we can do that because when Mary gifted us with the miraculous medal, she instructed us through Catherine Labouré that when we have a need or concern in our lives, to bring that need or concern to her in prayer, preferably at the foot of the altar. What Mary promises is this: she not only listen to us, but she will actually make our needs and our concerns her needs and her concerns. And when she has done that, she personalizes them and be our intercessor before the throne of God. We can do that week after week by coming and celebrating the Miraculous Medal Novena in Mary's house right here in Philadelphia. I once asked Father Pieber, with all the collections we take every Monday, and we have 8 services as of now, do we generate enough revenue to take care of all the expenses to keep Mary's Shrine open and available to people? And Father said, the people are very generous, and we really appreciate that. But to keep the shrine open, there's some hidden expenses, some not so hidden expenses. But when they accumulate, they go above what we receive in the collections on the weekend. With that in mind, I suggest that each and every one of us sometime today just quiet ourselves down and raise the question in my mind or our minds: what can I do in my life to make a positive difference at Mary's Shrine in Philadelphia? My brothers and my sisters in Christ, when we raise that question, certain thoughts will pass through our minds. I'm sure of that. I'm sure one of the suggestions that will come through our minds is that to honor Mary by every Monday participating in this novena. Participated by coming to the shrine in person, and if we cannot do that, then participated in this novena over the internet. And when we come, if we have children in our lives, either our own children or our grandchildren, or children in the neighborhood, bring the children to the novena. I say that because I visit many parishes throughout the year. And invariably at the end of Mass or sitting in the back of church, people come up and they tell me when they were youngsters how they came to this shrine with their parents or grandparents. I could tell by the way they're talking about it, it's a cherished memory. Bring your children, bring the young people. Let them have the same cherished memories in their lives as we have it in our lives. And secondly, another thought will come through our minds. There are people in our family, and we have friends. And there's a saying that tells us that birds of a feather flock together. Look at the crowd of people we have here. And we're here because we experience something positive when we come and celebrate the novena. Share that with people in our families. Share that with people who are our friends. Not just informing them that we have a novena here, but tell them why I come to the novena week after week. I experience peace. I experience healing. I experience hope. I experience enlightenment. Birds of a feather flock together. They mean something to us. They'll mean something to our friends. It'll be a clear invitation for them to participate in this novena, either personally by coming here. If that's not possible, then over the internet. Thirdly, and this thought I hope goes through your mind, ask your pastor. Would you want Father Shea to come to our parish on the weekend and preach at all the masses, talking about the miraculous medal and the shrine, and how no matter where we are, that we can benefit from this great gift that Mary has given to us? Would you want Father Shea to do that? Would you want Father Shea to come to our parish to conduct a miraculous medal novena, 9 days of prayer? Would you want Father Shea to come and have a Marian week of prayer, 5 days of prayer? No matter where this is, in Pennsylvania, New York, anywhere. If the pastor wants me to come to their parish, let me know. I'll contact them and see what arrangements can be made if possible. And finally, I suggest that if you're not already a member of the Miraculous Medal family, become a member of the Miraculous Medal family. Each one of the pews, they have a little pamphlet giving you all the information about being a member and the real benefits. Receiving a medal, many masses celebrated for our intentions. Receiving Miraculous Medal novena pamphlet all throughout the year. Many, many benefits. And if you're not already a member, I encourage you to become a member. And not only that, but ask people in your family and people among your friends to participate in the membership of Mary's Miraculous Medal family. So today, as we continue with our celebration of the Eucharist, pray for the grace and the wisdom to honor Mary. And one of the best ways that we can honor Mary is by coming here and praying the novena and encouraging others to do likewise. One of the ways we can honor Mary is today asking ourselves the question, what can I do to make a positive difference at Mary's Shrine in Philadelphia, Mary's beautiful house? What can I do to make a positive difference? And whatever answer that comes up, by the grace of God, to respond to that. And my brothers and my sisters in Christ, if we do that, Mary will be honored. Many people will benefit from what we do. And I believe they will experience happiness on a deeper level in our lives. God be praised.